What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? I am pulling together some demonstrations for class tonight, so I figured I will let y'all see me do it live. That way, you know what you're missing out on in these live hands-on Photoshop classes. No, for real, I want to give you all an expectation of what we're doing in class tonight because it's going to be a little more hands-on and exploring how to use AI to enhance the images that we get from AI. So I want to do this because I've been contracted to do a lot more large format work, which is for events, primarily conferences, business launches, parties, etc. And there are some things that I don't think a lot of people who do graphics really know about doing large format graphics and using AI and that sort of thing. So this isn't just something that newbies don't know. This is something that's not very well taught in industry. So I'm going to use tonight's class to help you all navigate that space and really dominate that space because there's not a lot of information there. So first I'm going to show you a project that we just did at our GoPro from home. And this will kind of give you an idea of how we're using AI, how we're upscaling it, how we're blending it together, that sort of thing. So in class, what we're going to do tonight is work on a backdrop for a memorial, but we'll also take this backdrop later and then we'll use that for our t-shirt design, our program designs, and so much more. I just want to get us into how that's going to work. And right now, looks like the program is loading up. I do have, for some reason, the internet connection has been really off today, so I do apologize. Let's go ahead and see if we can work through this today. And if not, then I'll record the session. But I really do appreciate our hands-on sessions, and I think that they do great a great service for you all who are really improving by getting that hands-on help. All right, so there we go. This is a huge file now. It looks tiny, but this is a huge file. It has a lot of large format graphics in it. What this is kind of a mock-up of some of the large format products that I've been asked to make and that I have been making, even innovating. Okay, so I'll be happy to share these with you all as we come across them. But just giving you some ideas of backdrops, floor wraps, arches, and these are like 8-foot arches, 6-foot arches, 3-foot arches. It's probably the smallest you'll ever go for an arch. Stand up, cutout letters, of course, these characters, and all of these are developed in AI. The archway here has AI graphics in it as well, including the patterns that are used here. The cubes are all AI graphics, and then so is the accordion wall. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because these elements, these particular products, can be used for almost any event imaginable. But before we start designing for events and getting excited about the products that we could create, I want us to really understand how to create high-level graphics in these scenarios. So for tonight, what we're going to do, we're going to focus on designing a backdrop. And it's going to be an 8x8 or an 8x10 backdrop. And I'll show you what the difference is. 8x10 is going to give us a little more on the sides. We're going to design for an 8x10, but we're going to optimize it for an 8x8, which is probably going to be a most common size people request. But then I'm going to show you how to use AI in order to expand this image out and make sure that you have imagery on the outside here. Okay. And then no worries for those who are in the Photoshop class tonight. We are meeting in the Zoom room tonight, so make sure that you go to class 294. For the Zoom room tonight, I just felt a little generous and wanted to do a little live demonstration for this class tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this one. just wanted to show you all the different elements that we will start bringing together. And I don't want to say start bringing together. We've been doing these things. As a matter of fact, some of these are past AI classes and past Photoshop classes. And I'm showing you how to bring those things together. So when you do have a big project, you're not overwhelmed. You can go to your templates. You can go to, I think this one's AI. We've got 293, we've got 290 in here, or these are Photoshop templates, 293, 290. We've got a bit of Photoshop. I forget what class I think it's like 160. So some old classes mixed with some new classes. And of course, I think that is the latest AI 53, I believe. And we're about to pull in some AI 54 in here as well. So I'm just letting you know, you don't have to come up with these resources just off the top of your head. They exist and you can combine them. All right, and as that's saving there, I'm going to go ahead and get our next setup ready here. So in class today, we're going to be using the AI that we did in AI class yesterday. If you don't have access to the AI class from yesterday, no worries. I'm going to be giving you all some brushes. I'm going to go ahead and drop those on the back end there. And then I'll also be giving you all some files that you can use that are from the AI class. But of course, there's thousands more files in there. I just want you to see some of the ones that you can work with and we'll have access to tonight, just so that you can get through our session. All right, and I'm going to pull in this one here for our session for this live. And for class tonight, I'm not going to give you the 294 that I have because I'm going to use this as a bonus. If you all like this theme, I'm going to show you pretty much how I came up with this. This is two different designs here. Both of them I developed in AI. Both of them I cleaned up in AI like we're going to do tonight. I expanded the background. I cleaned them up. I used AI to work with AI. And then I also combined this with a second design here. I'll go ahead and disable that layer mask so you can see. I have the image number 1 and 2, and then I blended them together to make a nice, unique background that even AI probably would not have come up with. I also had to go into this graphic and replace the clock time here because, of course, AI does a beautiful job of giving us some details, but it gave me the wrong numbers. And although it looked okay, I could tell that it was like a 13 here and a 3 here and a 5 here. So what I did was I cleaned that up with AI, and then I superimposed my own numbers on there. And that is a trick that you're going to have to learn to do as you're working with AI. It's not going to be perfect, but it will give you some phenomenal results that you can work with. So for tonight, I want to show you how to work with those large format images that you're being given, and pretty much how to maximize the use on your computer. All right, so that was just an example. I'm going to turn it off. Like I said, if we do a great job, I may offer that as a bonus file. Okay. But what we're going to do right now is just go ahead and set up for our new design here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work in this image. So I'm going to go to image size. And remember, I'm teaching you all how to work in large format without stressing your computer out. So I'm going to change my resolution to 15. Okay, this is a 10-foot by 8-foot file design at 150 ppi. It's a huge file. So I'm going to take it down to 15. All right, and it's going to take some time to reduce that down. Now, the way that this works is going to work because all of my images, see how tiny that got just now? This is why I'm teaching you to work in this tiny mode. But the only way that's going to work is if your elements are trapped inside of the smart objects that they are. If they're not smart objects, then they will reduce your resolution. You will have fuzzy images. So I'm teaching you a hack to work with your large format designs with small resolution as long as you're using smart objects. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in, I'm going to call this one Cotton Candy Clouds. All right, so I'm just going to drag and drop the image, and you all will pick which image you want for tonight. I'm going to bring it in to the top and bottom here. Now I want you to notice it has this little symbol in the bottom right corner. That means it is a smart object, which is cool. Okay, I'm going to double click on this image because I want to increase the image on the size here. I want it to make up something because I do want this to be able to be an 8x10 if I need it to be. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to come here to my crop tool. Come here to the sides, and I'm going to hold down my Control and my Alt at the same time. And I'm going to drag this out to about 19 inches. And you'll see it turns whatever color I had selected as my background. But I'm going to hit Generative Expand, and I'm not going to tell it anything. I'm just going to hit Generate. Now, what the AI is going to do inside of Photoshop is it's going to look at the image that I've already have, and it's going to try to figure out some ways to create some additional content on the sides there. Now, this is going to help me go from an 8x8 image to approximately like an 8x10 image here. And look at that, the details look pretty good, especially if I plan on using this as a backdrop or something I'm going to fade off anyway. This looks very good. I think I'm going to go with option number 1 here. And when I get it how I want it, what I have to do is right click and tell it that I want to merge down. So I want to right click in the gray area. Let me pull this out just a little bit. Right click here and tell it to merge down. Now when I want to save this, so I'm going to do Control S, or you can do File Save, or you can do Command S on the Mac. And then I'm going to close down here. Now I have a beautiful image that is expanded. I'm going to go into my Move tool to get out of my crop tool area. And now I'm ready to utilize this for banners, backdrops, t-shirts, etc. I've used AI inside of Photoshop to expand the outside of my image. So that's step 1 that we're going to be doing in class tonight. Then what I want you to do is I have some clouds here. And let's go ahead and take the image that we did and drag it right above our layer 0. And you'll see that we have some clouds here. Now, the clouds that I created for you already, these are using the cloud brushes, but I just went ahead and created a smart object for them so that they preserve the resolution of them while we're working in this small format. But I do want you to work on being able to recolor your clouds here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take on top of the cloud group here, we have a color saved, and I'm going to use the color picker tool here. If I can find it. There we are. And I'm going to go ahead and pick one of my colors here. Now, typically I like to work with about 2 colors. So I'm going to find like the pink that I want here. And I'm going to check out my swatches, see how the pink loaded up there. And then I'll choose this bluish teal, maybe this periwinkle color. I like the periwinkle, but I also like the teal. And I feel like if I choose the teal, the periwinkle is going to appear as a gradient between the two. So some of you have questions about creating gradients in AI. And although this one may not have given you a gradient, it did give you a lot of different color options. So I'm going to show you if I wanted to create a gradient, how we would go about doing that. Okay, so right now, we don't have a color at all here, just white selected. But if I want to add one of the colors that I just created, I could do that by just clicking on the color here and see how it automatically changes those clouds to that color. Right, so what I'm going to do here is duplicate this layer. And I will be giving you all this file. Don't worry, for class tonight, I'm going to give you this file. All right, and then for the second color, I'm going to go ahead and select this pink. Now, I'm not making them smart colors just yet because I want you all to explore actually building in these files. And then inside of this group, you can decide which cloud you like. I really like cloud number 1 better because it seems to be a little bit more opaque. So I'm going to turn off cloud number 2 for right now. And let's say that I want to kind of drown out some of this area here because I want it to look more like clouds and the flowers in the front. I could take those clouds, kind of twist them around a little bit, even resize them. And this is going to help me create a little bit different foreground here. So I'll take these 2 clouds here. I'm just going to duplicate them. And then I'm going to do Control T. And I'm going to flip them, pull them over here. So now no matter what image I put in the background here, I do have some clouds in the foreground. And I would just want you to see how we can recolor these clouds without too much effort. I'm going to put a layer mask on the pink. So the top layer is the pink one. I'm going to put a layer mask there. Grab my brush. And this time I'm just going to make sure that I have a soft round brush here. And I'll bring the size to around about 400. And what I'm going to do is kind of gently go over my clouds and see where do I want my blue versus my pink. And you see it's kind of creating a nice little gradient feature there. And if, let's say I took away a little too much pink and I want some of that pink back, then I could make sure that I have white selected in the foreground here. And white would bring the pink back. Black is going to conceal and white is going to reveal. All right, and just say for kicks and giggles, I want to do a little bit of that purple. Now I can duplicate this layer here. I'm going to go ahead and reclip this clipping mask. And then for this color, I'm going to double click and find one of those purples there. Beautiful. But now the purple is overtaking the teal. So now I'm going to put a layer mask on the purple. Reduce my brush just a little bit and say I want a little bit of that teal to be poking through as well. And now I'm getting my own kind of custom cotton candy clouds that I can always have on top of my image so that when next week, when we bring in our accent images and we bring in our models, now we'll have something to build on. But for tonight class, we're going to have some different things go on. Like everybody's going to have a different background. This is going to be, it seems like an advanced class, but I'm going to get everybody through it, even if you're a beginner. That's why I broke it up into 2 classes because I want it to be simple enough where we can get through it. You're going to bring in an image. We're going to expand the background. If there are some details that need some cleaning up, we will work on that. And then I'll have these clouds here for you all to play with as well so that you can kind of build into your image. You can duplicate those clouds, etc. So I'm going to do this one more time. Let's see. I don't know. Am I going to do it one more time? I'm going to take this one right here. And I'm just going to make sure that I go ahead and save a variation of this one. I'm going to save this one as Cotton Candy Clouds. And then I'll save it as a TIFF. And I'm going to show you how, once you learn these principles, let me bring this over here. Don't show that again. Okay. I'm going to show you how these principles work no matter what the image is. And then if you run into issues while you're live with me, I will be able to help you in Photoshop class. Okay. So let me go ahead and bring in one that's different here. Let's see. Ooh. I'm going to turn off the background here. And this time I'll bring in this sunflower one. Now keep in mind, as I'm making this bigger, I'm not actually making the file larger. What I'm doing is I'm just making it scale to the contents that I'm working on here. Only when I double click on the image and edit it here is it actually truly expanding that image, okay? So like I said, I'll give you some images that you can expand and that we can work on in class. And you may even very well choose the images that I'm working on right now. All right, so for this one, I'm going to choose my crop tool. Now this time I'm going to move a little bit faster here. If I check my image size, this image size is approximately 14 inches. That's what it's going to make it whenever you pull it out of Midjourney. Now, I did not highly upscale these, so that will be your responsibility if you really, really like these to upscale them again. And I'll show you that in class, what I would recommend for you to do once you get this expanded is I would absolutely recommend that you pull it into an upscaler program like Topaz. Right? So that one I brought out to 20. And then I'm just going to hit generative expand and generate. See what it comes up with. Pick my option. And for tonight's class, you must have, go ahead and upgrade your Photoshop so that you have the latest version of Photoshop that does generative fill. If you don't have the generative fill feature, you won't be able to participate in the live class tonight. You can watch it and you can watch the replay, but you're going to absolutely need the latest version of Photoshop in order to have all the AI features. And see how this is giving me so many options here. I like how it kind of ended these with the trees here. But I really like the detail in this one. Oh, it's so hard to decide. Okay, so I do like option one because I feel like it's giving me the ability to add 2 arches on the side if I wanted to make this a triple arch feature. All right, so right click and let's go ahead and merge down. I'm gonna go with this one. Close it out, hit yes to save. Awesome, awesome. Now for this one, I may or may not use my clouds. I think if I want to use my clouds, I absolutely can. I'm going to go ahead and use the formula here with these 3 colors. And I'm just going to go ahead and double click on the color number 1. Let's pick one of these nice yellows here. And then for color number 2, maybe I pick this kind of brownish color. Okay, and for color number 3, I picked the sienna color. Now, let's just say, for instance, that I want the white clouds. Then essentially all I would have to do is just duplicate one of these. And then I'm going to delete the layer mask here. Let's just make it white, make the color white. And then I can bring the opacity down for the clouds. And even change up that size. And again, I could also add a layer mask here and just say, well, I don't want them completely white, but I do want to bring a little bit of color into this. Just kind of painting in that area. And then I'm going to disable the layer mask for the color underneath so that I have like the full yellow come through. And I'll disable these as well, see which color I like coming through better. And I think it is the yellow. And I'm going to bring the opacity for the white down just a little bit because I don't want it stark white. I want it to just lighten up that yellow just a little bit there. And then we'll be able to see whenever we are putting in our images here, whether we want to do the clouds on top or not, but you'll have that feature for next week. All right, so I think I have time to flip one more time. Let's find out what we're going to do next. Oh, let me go ahead. And save this one. And I'll save this one as sunflower clouds. And I'll do one more. This is so hard to just do one more. There's so many great images here. I know you all are going to have fun working with this. I know there was a starry night one I really liked. Let's play with that one. Oh, there's some galaxy ones in here and everything. Oh, I just broke my clipping mask by not being on the right layer. So I'm going to bring it back down here and select all of my colors here and go ahead and create that clipping mask to restore that. All right, again, I'm making this full size here. And for this one, let me see if I can play a little remix for you all. Two things I didn't expect to go together. Let's try this. All right, so first I'm going to go ahead and double click on this one, do what we did before, which is to go to our crop tool, hold down Control and Alt. I'm going to pull it out here to at least, I'll go ahead and pull it out to 20 inches. Go ahead and hit Generative Expand and Generate. Now we're not going to remix them in class, but for homework, if you want to try this step, then this is actually a lot of fun. It just depends on if you have images that do kind of melt together, how to play on them. So I don't know if these are going to do well together, but I'm willing to try it live in front of you all. All right, I'm going to go ahead and merge this down. Yes, to save those changes. And then finally, I'm going to show you all before we close out. I'm going to turn off the clouds here for a moment. Before we close out, I'm going to show you how I would prepare this for large format printing, because remember, right now we're working in it in a small scale. All right, so I also have this image here. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. Hold down Control and Alt while I pull it out to at least 20 inches on the side. Do a generative fill. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to go with image number 1. Go ahead and merge that down. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to blend the celestial with the like the moon night, kind of moonlight version here. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring my opacity down for the top layer just to kind of see what is visible. Then I'll add a layer mask to the top one because I want to see what happens if I start eating away some of this image. So I'll grab my brush tool. This time I'm going to make sure that my brush size is about 600 pixels. Remember, I'm only at 15 ppi, so 600 pixels is a huge brush. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start kind of eating away at the design a little bit, trying to just figure out, well, what do I want to really look like it's coming through? And then now I can go ahead and bring my opacity back up here and say, okay, my galaxy's coming through here. Maybe I want more of my frosty flowers to come through here. And I want more frosty flowers here, but I want more of my galaxy arch here. So I need to bring white back and paint on the layer mask. Kind of bring that in. And this is really me just imagining a setup here. It doesn't really exist. I'm blending these two images together so I can have as much fun as I want. There is no rule here. Now I'm going to bring my brush down just a little bit in size and bring my black to the foreground because I want to take away some of the galaxy accents here and bring more of my floral accents through. And I'm just painting away. A little more of my floral here. And I want the floral to look like it's kind of stepping on top of this harsh little archway here. And then I'm going to bring a little bit of florals through here. Now let me show you that. I want to go back here. And if I want the florals to come through a little more faint, I'm going to change this opacity to 50% instead of 100%. That way it's only letting about half of the image opacity come through. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And just like that, we have used AI, of course, to create some backdrops, but we have also created a very custom, very unique version of a backdrop for the purpose of having, this could be for memorial, this could be for prom, this could be for, of course, an elegant event. You're literally making this whatever you need it to be, but you got some ideas from AI and you're able to blend those into a unique concept. Now, let's say, for instance, if I wanted to take the colors down here from purple, let's go ahead and do a solid color here. I let it stay pink for the moment just so I can put the blend mode onto color. And then I'm going to clip this just to that layer there. And now let's select one of the blue colors here. And boom, doesn't that look like it already came together? Super cool. Now, if I wanted to do the opposite and I wanted to add some purple into the midnight backdrop, then I can right click, create clip and mask for that one. It has the blue on there, but I'm going to add some purple. And then what I can do to that is kind of create some areas in the blue where the purple would go. Bring my opacity back up here. And I'm going to kind of clear out where I want the blue to show through versus the purple. And now I have a cool backdrop that I would not have imagined even inside of my AI here. There we go. So I'm going to bring this back to the blue. I really liked how it looked as blue because I felt like I couldn't tell the difference with the image there. I don't know if I want the purple or just the blue. I think I'm going to stick with just the blue. All right, so now I'll save this one as, this one's going to be my, it's my Starry Night with my galaxy. And just like that, I made a remix of two different backdrops. And I could show y'all how to do this with the sunflower and the one from before. You could remix these all day. I want that to be your homework, how you play with it. But for tonight, I just truly want us to get used to using these AI tools and then expanding this. So I'm going to show you finally. Let's go ahead and bring up this one here. what I would do in order to prepare this for print, and just, I'm looking here, I want to, let's see. I was gonna change something with the stairs here, but I'm gonna let it go ahead and roll since we're getting ready for class. But in order to get this prepared, I want you to check the image size. Right now, you're only working in 15 PPI resolution. What's going to happen? This is how I'm saving it. So I'm gonna go ahead and file, save as. So this is gonna be your background, or we'll call this a backdrop. And this is gonna be the preview, 15 PPI. I never want to see you actually print the background or any image with the words preview PP 15 PPI because it's going to be extremely small. That's what's allowing me to work really fast, even though I'm streaming, even though I may have a slower computer, it's allowing me to work faster, but it's not going to be what you want to print. Now, when I get ready to print, when that file is officially saved, I can go to image size, and I'm going to change this resolution to 150 dpi or ppi, which is pixels per inch. Used to be dpi was dots per inch. Now they're using ppi, which stands for pixels per inch. All right, and for those who are in our live Photoshop class tonight, for the gold members and the platinum craft equip members, you all will meet me in the Zoom room at 8 o'clock. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom out here. If you notice, it was truly zoomed in because it became 100 times bigger than the original file. Okay, now once I have it here, I'm going to go File, and then I'm going to go to Save As. As a matter of fact, some of you may have to go to Save a Copy, so I'll use that one. And then you're going to choose JPEG, just so it flattens everything out. And then here, I'm going to take the word preview off, and then I'm going to put print, and I'm going to put 150 PPI. Okay, that's going to remind you that that is your printable file. Now it's going to be merged. It's going to be one flat file. It's not going to be editable with that print ready version. But I'm teaching you the steps so that you can do large format graphics from home. You can do large format graphics from your existing computer. Canva will not allow you to do this. I'm just letting you know now, you're going to have to do this inside of a program like Photoshop in order to really get the true large format and large scale graphics out of your software. All right, so now that I've saved it as a JPEG, I'm going to go back to image. I'm going to go back to image size, and I'm going to bring it down to 15 PPI. I'm going to say OK. All right, see how tiny it got? That means that it is easy to work with. But keep in mind, nothing that I'm working with is outside of a smart object. So it's preserving the image quality inside of the smart object. So that's how I'm teaching you all how to design. All right, so I'll go ahead and save that one. And you will have access to this for class tonight. I'm going to go ahead and upload it on the back end so that you all will have some examples of how we created these, but also you will create your own backdrop tonight. I will walk you through the process, make sure you get through it easily, and then you'll have your backdrop for our class that we're going to build on for next week. All right, so I hope you all enjoyed that. I hope you all heard me. I didn't even look to see if y'all were here and talking to me. I was just recording. I'll post a link so you can join Gold. Absolutely. I'll post the one-on-one link. It has a place on there. I'll copy that. So this is the one-on-one page. If you come here and then you scroll down to the membership area, if you click on this membership image, I don't know why it makes you do that first, but just go ahead and click on it. You can sign up right now for the Gold. Oh, I still have, I'm going to leave that one up for Christmas because some people weren't able to do it for Black Friday. So there is a one-time offer to sign up for gold for the whole year for only $6.97. That's almost 50% off of doing 97 a month. So figure out which one you want to do. You want to do 97 a month, or you can do 6.97. That special is still open for the year. And then that way you can come to the live Photoshop classes that we do on Wednesday. And also, I've opened it up to where as long as you're in gold, you get the live AI classes on Tuesdays right now. Okay, I don't know how long I'm going to keep that open, but you get 2 live classes with me every single week when you're in the gold membership. If you're in Craft to Quit, then you also get a Friday session with me where we go over how to grow your business. Okay. Awesome, Alicia. But go ahead and join now, and we look forward to seeing you. As a matter of fact, if you go ahead, once you join now and you see we are on class number 294. It will have a Zoom link on the back end, so you can go ahead and join us for class tonight. Awesome. We're looking forward to seeing you. All righty, my loves, that's it for tonight. Listen, I appreciate you and I love you dearly. And until next time, bye.